Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be world heavyweight champion.
Destiny. He was destined to do this.
Heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury! Come on!
He's the eighth wonder of the world, I would say.
You know, people like that, they're born like that. It's a God-given talent.
A lot of people were doubting him. Fools, you could say, were doubting him.
This job's the biggest high in the world, but it also can be the loneliest, lowest place in the world as well.
We had a lot of fun as kids. We were allowed to roam free. We lived on a farm in Cheshire, played up and down in trees and fields and rode motorbikes and stuff like that. It was good. We had a good childhood.
There was always hitting one another. There was always jabbing, punching, wanting to spar and fight one another. Because many a time I said, listen, behave yourself, I'm watching the television, there's a picture on, behave yourself. And they'd stop for 5 seconds and start again. But it was always the one kind of playing, punching. It was in them to do it.
You know, we sort of like grew up in the gyms because as a young kid, I've never done anything else but box. You know, we just spent a lot of time together in the gym.
First amateur boxing tournament, I went in the ABA Senior Novice Boxing Championships for people who had under 10 fights. And I won that. Everything come quite quick and fast, and I started achieving more and more, and then I started boxing for England. And then when you're boxing for England, it's like, well, you've sort of made it to box for your country, to represent your nation. And all of a sudden, 3 or 4 years has passed, and that pipe dream is becoming a reality.
When was it the moment you realised Tyson was the champion he is?
3 weeks into the very first camp, I was like, this guy is something completely different. I remember him and Sugar Hill talking, and their game plan, he's like, to win in America, I've got to knock Wilder out. So I got to sit toe-to-toe with this guy. And I just remember being like, so you're going to go toe-to-toe with the most powerful boxer in history, and that's your game plan.
12 rounds of boxing for the WBC and Lineal Heavyweight Championship of the World.
They reckon the Gypsy King comes round every 20 years. He's the one, isn't he?
The challenger, Tyson Fury. Fury immediately surges out to the center of the ring.
Sylvester Stallone said, he's not just the best in this era, he's the best in any other era.
I'll tell you what, when Wilder 3 came and he dropped Tyson, you know, I literally couldn't watch the fight. I had to turn around. My heart was going so fast.
I think it's over. Is he going to get up?
I was ringside. I saw him go down. He looked like he was out cold. When I turned back round, he was on his feet. I could not believe it.
Oh, my goodness. Somehow Fury has managed to get up.
I think a lot of it's just what's in you, you know, because in any sport, what separates the best from the rest is being able to handle that pressure and rising to the occasion, you know, when the heat's at its maximum.
But that's the thing, the difference with Tyson is he trains every day. It's not just a camp, he trains every day.
Without him, none of it's possible. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can have in life, when people look up to you in a way, and they also look to him for guidance, because he's been there and done it. You know, what he doesn't know about the sport isn't really worth knowing.
It was always my opinion that Tyson was the #1 heavyweight. Watching him, it's like the Matrix, do you know what I mean? He's that good, it's so easy to him. He's a cheat code.
When he beat Klitschko, he was the lineal and the unified world champion.
That was the moment when obviously he became heavyweight champion of the world, and then all of a sudden you beat the reigning champion that never was, and the next day morning you woke up, you got 50,000 cameras in your face and you think, whoa.
It's not just about the titles, the money, prestige, it's part of life for him.
I think the biggest fight that Tyson's ever won and will ever won in his whole entire life is that fight against mental health.
I had everything to be happy for, but every day was grey and dark. You're thinking the heavyweight champion of the world, guy who's on top of everything. There wasn't a day that I woke up that I didn't pray for death.
When he obviously first took a bit of a breakdown, someone had to be with him 24/7 or more or less of the time.
But that was probably a phase where like none of us really knew, because obviously he hadn't come out, he hadn't told anyone.
I come from a big, hard, tough family who no one communicates and no one shows weakness. If you show type of weakness, it means you're a weak person where I come from. This job's the biggest high in the world when you're winning, but it also can be the loneliest, lowest place in the world as well.
You know, I can't imagine winning the heavyweight championship of the world, the way that you feel, and then the next day you're back in Morecambe. You know, everything would seem very mundane.
Before he fought Klitschko, and I asked him specifically, what will you do when you win? And he said, I'll be miserable. I said, you're not going on holiday with your family, kids, celebrate? He goes, no, he said, I'll probably be really depressed. That was his like ultimate goal in life. All of a sudden he's achieved it. It's like, where do you go from here?
You could be the richest man in the world, you could have everything, but if you've got horrible thoughts going through your head 24/7, you better be with someone.
You know, I think pretty much everybody that lives goes through ups and downs in their life, and some people just go on lower lows but have higher highs.
I'm an unofficial official ambassador for mental health in sports, of course. It's my biggest goal. I mean, that's my only calling card. You know, that's mainly the most of the reasons I'm back.
You know, that's bigger than any boxing match because that saved his life. You know, getting that victory is the reason why he's here today.
And even at that time when he was getting back into shape, coming back into boxing, a lot of people were doubting him.
12 months before that, he was 28 stone, not in a great place. And even for probably the first 6 months of losing weight, he still wasn't in a great place. It was a process of recovery.
No one realised that at the time, the backstory behind it. And I always find that the most interesting thing about the Furies is that you see what you see online. When you're in a camp and you know what goes on, the mental resilience that all of them have is incredible.
The world is talking about this event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest show on earth.
The difference is not knowing what to expect. You have to prepare for everything.
I'd say it poses different threats. Within Ngannou, I think the only thing you've really got to watch out for is his power.
Tyson trains and gives the respect to any opponent that's in front of him.
Ngannou's a big guy, isn't he? So can't take him lightly no matter how many fights he's had in boxing.
Well, he's a UFC fighter, but he knows how to box. The 18, 19 stone men, it only takes one shot.
I think he's got one of the strongest mindsets in the game and possibly in sports today. That's never been in doubt.